And the forwards, Farrell captains the side, Newton, Smith, Hock, Tickle and O'Loughlin. Just the one change on the bench where Carney comes on for Gary Connolly, and it's O'Connor, Robinson and Sculthorpe. Coaches Dennis Betts, of course. Now, the men from Wakefield. Mark Field is the fullback. It's Halfpenny, Demetriou, Domick, their leading try scorer, is fit. Tadulala, Ellis, the skipper, and Ben Jeffries. And the forwards, Feather, March, Korkidas, Solomona, McGilvray and Rob Spicer. And the bench occupied by Griffin, Jamie Field, who returns from injury. He's been out with a broken cheekbone for the past 3 weeks. Snitch and Hanforth, and Shane McNally is the coach. And what a job he's done. And what a job these men have done. And they will play the losers of tomorrow night's qualifying semi-final between Leeds and Bradford at either Headingley or Oxford. That's in the future. This is the present. Demetriou gets us underway. Radlinski underneath the kick-off. The game in motion, and Wakefield will look for a flyer.
That's what they need, and I'm sure Shane McNally has been impressing upon them that they've got to keep this ball alive. They've got nothing to lose. It has been a magnificent season for them. Remember, 3 years on the trot, they were fighting against relegation. This is their moment of glory. Just keep that ball alive. Make sure their solid defence goes right through for the full 80 minutes. And you never know.
You never ever know. And this is Craig Smith, who gets Wigan to halfway after 4 tackles in the first set of 6 of this match. And that's O'Loughlin, who's had a magnificent season for Wigan. A little overshadowed, I suppose, by the form of his captain and brother-in-law, Andrew Farrell. That's a poor kick, straight into the arms of Semi Tadulala. Shane McNally, the Wakefield coach, just watching on from high up in the main stand here at the JJB Stadium. What a job he has done. His recruitment in the winter was first class. And, well, we all know what has happened over the past 6 months or so. Wakefield in the top 6 for the first time ever.
He's given himself belief.
That record, though, in Super League,
he's lost it. He's lost it. Certainly is against Wigan, but that's a bad mistake as well.
I think it was McGilvray who lost it, and Wigan have it back.
One thing they didn't need. They can't allow that. It was a great turnover by Danny Orr.
And here is Craig Smith again. He leaves at the end of this season, retires. Want to go out with a bang, so it's his last match at the JJB Stadium. They're giving it with. This is Radlinski, and this is Kevin Brown. And Demetriou gets to Kevin Brown. They're going to force him over the line. That's terrific Wakefield defence. Spicer and Halfpenny in there as well. And Brown just couldn't get the ball away.
Good open play by Wigan. Just shows you the confidence, but good slide in defence. They weren't going to take the dummy from the young fella, Kevin Brown. And they'll feel relieved about that. They came up with the error, allowed Wigan the possession. The one thing that Wakefield know, they know that they can't concede 1 early try, or even 2, Eddie. It's going to be difficult for them then.
And that's Gareth Ellis who makes the break. He wasn't tackled by Sean O'Loughlin, just slipped the net. And here is the penalty against Craig Smith.
Well, he shouted out, did Russell Smith, the official. Look how it breaks through here. Pulls away from O'Loughlin. Can't go high on this fella. Amazing upper body strength. Really has been a start over the last 18 months, Gareth Ellis. Big night for this fella as well, Michael Korkidas.
3 minutes gone here, 0-0, and remember the start that Wakefield made at the KC Stadium last Friday night. They were penalised heavily early. They lost a couple of players to the sin bin. It's a different start for Wakefield here. I wonder if it'll be a different finish.
Interesting to see how they're utilising Gareth Ellis. No stranger to the loose forward position, of course, and that's virtually what is being played at the moment.
David March, the dummy half. Here is Gareth Ellis. Back it goes to David Solomona, and David Solomona is met firmly by Terry Newton. He's making his 20th appearance in the playoffs, Newton. Here's Jeffries, dancing away. It's a nice little kick as well. Picked up by Kevin Brown, but he will be tackled in the in-goal area by Rob Spicer, and it'll be the dropout underneath the sticks.
Oh, great work by Ben Jeffries, put under a lot of pressure as well. But then just on the left-hand side, went down pretty well, did Kevin Brown, but Spicer just took it. Well, this will settle the nerves. One thing that Shane McNally would have wanted, not that Dennis Betts would be interested with the fact that they've had only one opportunity. So a quick shot there of Shane McNally. He really has done a wonderful job, hasn't he, with his side?
Sensational this year, he really has. Farrell's drop out, arrives at Jeffries. He gives it to Korkidas. It was Michael Korkidas' run at the start of the second half at Hull last week that visibly lifted the side. And here now comes Sid Domick, the leading try scorer. It's a miracle that he's playing tonight. He was bandaged from knee to ankle last week. This is Chris Feather now for Wakefield. They play the ball to David March. Good run from March.
Spotted it quickly as well, did David March there. He realised that Wigan had two players there that couldn't touch him, otherwise it would have been a penalty.
Gareth Ellis finds Dimitriou. Dimitriou back to the captain. One-handed it goes to McGilvray. And Duncan McGilvray will drive it forward, and it's Wigan's defence who stands firm after 5 tackles. Can they hold firm again here on the last? Jeffries with another good kick, looking for Tadulala. And the ball bounces down, and Solomona has it. No, he doesn't. The Wigan man has it. Stephen Wild.
Well, the official, Russell Smith, deemed there that Stephen Wild didn't touch it. And I think they've got it right. Tadulala certainly just got a hand to that.
Well, man of the match. I wonder whether it will go to a Wakefield man. If it does go to a Wakefield man, that watch, it'll mean the Wildcats have won. Dave Hatfield.
Wigan have been so strong at home though this season, haven't they? And a lot of the reason for that is that Craig Smith and Andy Farrell have been so solid down the middle. They'll be crucial again tonight. What an interesting Wigan bench it is as well. Will Luke Robinson continue to embarrass the people who decided to let him go? And what can they expect from Brian Carney tonight? Sid Domick, they've started with him, Wakefield. Got to be a little bit of a risk. Ben Jeffries was the man who conducted the orchestra last week. And if you listen to some people, he's one that Wigan have got their eyes on for next season. So lots of intriguing possibilities.
Yes, there are intriguing possibilities, and it's a decent enough start by Wakefield. They are far from overawed by the fact that they are here in the second weekend of the playoffs in the Tetley Super League, just a fortnight away from the grand final. Remember, as Steve-O said earlier on, year after year after year, it's been struggle and strife at Wakefield. They've battled away from the other end of the table. Here tonight, they are this match and next week, and then they could be at Old Trafford. What a fairy tale that would be.
Certainly would be, and as I mentioned before the kick-off, Eddie, Wakefield, of course, they were a little bit nervous against Hull in that first half.
Dimitriou punts the kick down the line. Radlinski is after this, watching it all the way. Chase is good. Spicer with the tackle. 7 minutes gone, 0-0, and early impressions. Phil?
I think the early impressions, really, you comment on Wakefield in the past fighting relegation. Most of their players are more used to being on holiday at this time of the year, watching the game on Sky Sports. But last week they seemed to enjoy the experience, and they want to do it again today. One of the primary reasons that they're actually still involved this season is because they've been able to make more ground with the ball than they have in the past. And if you notice Wigan's speed of the line in defence, they're trying to get up quickly and cut down the players like Korkidas, Griffin, Feather, who've taken Wakefield out of their own danger zone at times this year. The other interesting factor between these two sides is the kicking game of both Lamb and Jeffries. Both are looking to try and put pressure on one another, and they've both made a decent start.
Solomona caught offside, drifting out wide, and Russell Smith, he is one of the most experienced officials in the game. A lot of people, Steve-O, say he is this year the best referee in Super League.
Well, the last month I would have to agree with you. When it comes to the crunch time and the pressure, he knows how to handle it.
This is O'Loughlin, gives it width to Radlinski. Brown is on his outside, and Brown again. They thought about trying to slide him in to touch once more. That's why he went to ground. This is Dallas. It finds Orr, and Orr gives it to Gareth Hock, and it comes out of Gareth Hock's grasp. Play on is the referee's decision. There could be a try here for Brett Dallas.
He'll go for the
double movement.
He was spot on there, Russell Smith, and he's got it right. His momentum did not take him over. He gets stopped here. Bang. That's it. And as soon as he moved, the tackle was completed. Penalty. And now Wigan are caught offside.
Well, Dennis Betts knows that they went so close there. They maybe got the rub of the green, as O'Loughlin has a word with the club doctor. on this near side, but they maybe got the rub of the green as the ball came out in the tackle there. They were allowed to play on. I'm sure had the try had any question about it, had Dallas not come up with a double movement, I'm convinced that Russell Smith would have handed that on to the video referee.
Well, to be fair to Russell, he was in a wonderful position, and he was so confident.
Here's Sidomic again, would run. Looked over the shoulder, there was nobody there. 30 metres away from the Wigan line, March, and here's McGillivray.
Just settle things down, that's what the Wildcats need at the moment. A little bit of a scare with the Dallas no try.
Jeffries here. Last tackle there for Wakefield. Dimitri with the dummy half. Here is Halpenny. And Halpenny with a crossfield kick looking for Tadulala. Tadulala flicks the ball back. Domit picks it up and continues the momentum on. And he gets it here to Halpenny! And Halpenny is over the line!
He'll go to the screen on this. Was that a double movement?
Well, he's not worried about that. He wants to know whether there was a knock-on out wide. And Tadulala, who caused havoc in the air against Hull last week, he might have done same again here against Wigan. And Halpenny might well have the first try on the ball.
I think Tadulala knocks it back. Definitely knocks it back on that occasion, gets to it, so that's not a knock-on. Sid Domic was allowed. A lot of the Wigan players just hung around. They expected this is the finish. Has momentum taken him over? I think you'll find it has. It's sufficient. There was no movement of the arm as far as I can see. He's dragged over. I think this will be given.
Well, he got a try against Hull last week, 2 tries the previous week against Castleford. Colm Halpenny and the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats believe they've scored. He's short there, but I think maybe Ian Millwood, I think Steve-O might be right. I think that he has been dragged over the line. What say you?
We've got to remember there's light rain here, so the surface is slippery, and you know, it's fantastic the way the Enterprise with the ball. I think momentum, I think it's a try. Everything's right. Fingers up. What do you reckon, Steve-O?
Yeah, I'm with you, Ian. But it's always controversial in times like this. Looking to see perhaps if there's any obstruction, get a better movement here. And I think they just, momentum takes him over.
I've got a bit of warning there, Steve. I was a bit shaky here last week at a certain game, Saints and Wigan, so I'm shaking here at the moment, so you're just going to have to hold me for a minute.
I think they'll give this.
Well, the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats have all celebrated, and Wigan are behind the line waiting for the kick, and the decision is try for the Wildcats. The green is alive. Colm Halpenny. Well, he was sin bin here in June, Colm Halpenny, and he's just come up with a huge try.
Great kick from Ellis, and once again they've used Tadulala. It bobbled, but he got his arm in there to knock it back. And once Halpenny took this, from the Domic pass, this should be easy.
And David March adds the extras, and the Wakefield supporters, they can't believe it, and the Wildcats lead by 6 points to 0. And I must say, after looking just before the kick-off, there was a tiny knot of supporters there for Wakefield, but they've grown as they watch this again.
It was a superb take.
So Wakefield lead by 6 points to 0. 11 minutes of the match gone. First try given on the nod of the video referee, and Wigan, if they didn't know it before, they know it now. They're in a match. Korkidas.
And fair play to them as well. We mentioned all they had to do was just steady things down, steady the ship, do nothing outrageous. But I thought these would be the tactics from Shane McNally, is to keep the ball alive, and that's what they've done, but they utilised it against Hull so often. Solomon nearly through there. The kick to the corner for Tadulala paid off last week.
And Jeffries with another good kick, but it will just skip away from Radlinski. Well, if they doubted before this that they could compete with... Oh, look at that! Big hit there! And he's lost the ball as Gareth Hawke. It was a Great hit by Rob Spicer. And Wakefield are back in possession. Here's Corquitas again. Well, this is amazing. March. And here is McGilvray. And he slipped the net. McGilvray. He is in. Duncan McGilvray is in for Wakefield. That's the second try of the match for Wakefield. Duncan McGilvray, the scorer. And the shock of all time is on here.
It all came about. Dislodged ball. Wigan fans, they are absolutely stunned. But McGilvray isn't. Took the full opportunity. They really got into the ribs of Hawk. He dropped it off through. And when they came at it, they were in no man's land. This blind side was very slow indeed. You can see Danny Orr there telling someone else to get himself sorted out, when really they should have come up as one unit.
Great try and March to try and have the extras. He hooked that away from the post. But just take a look at this scoreline. Wigan 0, Wakefield 10. And the Wakefield fans, at around about 7:30, there was about 200 of them in here. They are still coming in. And a lot of them have missed the first 2 tries of the match. And they'll look at the big screen, they'll see that Wakefield are leading 10-0, and they will curse what they have missed. 10-0 to Wakefield. And the dream is very much alive. Griffin losing the ball, but it went backwards. Play on. And this is young Mark Field. David March again. And Chris Feather. Back it comes in the centre again. And Wigan, well, 14.5 minutes gone, trailing by 10 points to 0. And they have lost Wakefield against Wigan on each of their last 17 meetings. Is tonight the night that record could be turned upside down?
Oh, there's a long way to go, Eddie, before they can start thinking about that.
But Steve-o, we said that they had to get off to a flyer, and they have.
And they certainly have, and that mistake, the big hit on Hogg, roll the ball, but the one thing that will be concerning Dennis Betts, the Wigan coach, is the fact that they were very slow to get themselves into a one line on that short blind side.
This is Adrian Lamb, first run, and Dallas is wrestled to the ground by McGilvray, the try scorer. Terry Newton goes into dummy half. Andrew Farrell will drive the ball forward. The captain won't give it up.
Good tackle. Great tackle from Chris Feather as well. Put his body on the line. It's a bit too strong, or is it?
Yes, it is. Bounced high, but went over the dead ball line from Lamb.
Great run, though, wasn't it, from Andy Farrell?
First time. Priceless for Dennis Betts.
First time we've seen anything from the Wigan skipper, but it was a great run. Big hit from Feather.
Release 2. Get up quickly.
Well, we have some injury news coming in. Here's Bill.
Sean O'Loughlin was Wigan's man of the match, of course, last weekend. Well, they've lost his services for the time being. He's got a bit of a chest problem. He's had to be taken to the dressing room to be checked over by the doctor. And Wigan suffering enough disruption as it is already with this ferocious start from the Wildcats. They could do without losing Sean O'Loughlin.
They could. But Wakefield in possession here once more with Darrell Griffin. Good tackle low down by Adrian Lamb. Finished off by Danny Tickle. Now then, David March. Running flat, and a good ball, Demetrio. He's got Halfpenny on his outside. Back it goes, and it sticks for Halfpenny. What a pass. What a ball coming off at Wakefield here. Jeffries, it's on the last. There's the crossfield kick, looking for Tajalara again. And it's bounced. Solomona. And Solomona will touch down. It'll be a decision for the video referee again. Oh, could this be try number 3 for the Wildcats? This could be try number 3.
The second occasion, already mentioned that it came to good effect against Hull last week. Shane McNally, the coach, will be proud about that. He's pretty tall, is Semi Tajalala. They're all onside. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. Who gets to it first? Is it Aspinwall? It looks as though it was... Either way, that went backwards, didn't it? Yeah, it came off the arm, the elbow, I think, of Tajalala, but it went backwards. This is what they're going to look at. Well, I think that ball has gone directly backwards to Solomona, and there are so many thousands of Wigan fans here hoping that they're going to qualify, that it was a knock-on from Tadjalala, but I don't think so. I think Wakefield have scored their third try.
Ian Millward, what do you think?
Yeah, it's either gone by Aspinwall, the way that the ball has gone.
Well, if you look at his eyes, at first he's going for the ball, and then his eyes reflect on it is the tackle. It's gone off his right shoulder and gone backwards.
So a try should be given.
Well, momentum of the ball's going backwards. That's all we're discussing.
Yeah.
Well, here comes the decision. Is it a try for Wakefield here again? Oh, it is! David Solomona! Shane McNally! Well, he is emotionless on his face, but inside, he must be bubbling. And David Solomona, who has set the Super League alight this year, has come up with the third try.
You play to your strengths, and the strength has been throughout this season. Tadjalala having the ability to gain so much height. He's a tall fella. The kick from Jeffries right into the corner. It did either come off Aspinwall or, as Ian Millward said, on the shoulder of Tadjalala. Solomona, it's a simple try, but it was well worked. The big thing now, Eddie, after this conversion,
Which is missed.
oh, that's a bad miss. That's pressure for you. That's just got to David March.
He has missed two, David March. But they've scored 3 tries, he's kicked 1 goal, and they lead 14-0. And look at this reaction from the Wakefield fans when 3 little letters appeared on the screen. They couldn't believe it. Look! Christmas has come early.
That's a big problem now that the Wakefield coach, McNally, is knocked on. McNally has to get the message out. Do not become excited. Leave that to the commentators and the fans. But that is a big mistake from Feather.
Well, unbelievable, Phil. No one would have tipped this.
No, we knew that Wakefield could score points, probably not so quickly in a match. I think the big test for them will come when it's their turn to defend, and maybe that's just a turning point now after the opening quarter.
Yes, Danny Orr with a little drive. Radlinski is there. And here comes Gareth Hawks. Spicer gets to him. And with McGilvray, he's wrestled to the ground. They have to defend now. This is the first real question mark. Terry O'Connor doesn't want to go out of his Wigan career of 10.5 years as a loser on home soil. It's now with Lamb. Oh, he just managed to hang on somehow. But no momentum gained.
Just took his eyes off the ball for a second then. It proved costly.
Radlinski. Great tackle, Domic. Last tackle. Aspinwall is there. Brings it back inside to Farrell. He'll drift the kick in, Farrell. And there will be a second set of 6 off the hands of Jason Demetriou.
Good position, and Dennis Bench knows that it was a good kick from his skipper.
Not according to the Dennis Bench script, this.
Certainly not. They've been put under the pressure. Well, the only way that I felt that the Wildcats could have any chance in this game was for them to be adventurous. And boy, oh boy, Eddie, you've got to admire them. They've come up with good tactics, good support play, good kicks, especially 2 into the corner that brought them tries. And now they've got to make sure the defence is solid.
They've never beaten Wigan in Super League, home or away, since 1999. They will never have a better chance than this. But rugby league matches last for 80 minutes, not 20. And here is Kevin Brown. And Kevin Brown is over the line if he can get the ball down. Well, what's happened here? The referee is held up. He's held up in the field of play, so the tackle count will resume back on the 10-metre line.
Good sliding defence yet again. That's a 4th occasion that they've had to deal with the centre, Kevin Brown. Very close. Did well to keep in the in-goal area. Gives them the possession yet again. Wigan are desperate now. They know they have to score.
They've got to score next.
Yeah, they've got to jolt this positive feeling that Wakefield have at the moment.
It's Adrian Lamb. Wide it goes to Radlinski. And Radlinski going for the line himself, but he's going to be... Oh, he's got the ball down!
It's a try. No doubt in my mind, and the video referee I'm sure will nod on this one. What an effort. It looked as though all the world, the sliding defence had got him. But what's the arm? Pop down. I'm going to have 4. And he's got 4. What a beautiful try.
What an effort from Radlinski.
Well, if ever a man had to pull his side out of the fire, it's this fella. He came off with a wonderful tackle last week, cut down Mickey Hyam when he looked at those Saints. We're going to drift underneath the post. And the great servant to this club, it'll be confirmed.
And Chris Radlinski punctuates his 300th Wigan appearance with a try that could change this match around.
Got the combination going very well indeed. But again, the sliding defence looked as though it was going to be strong, but somehow they forgot to go for the ball. How on earth did he get his arm free for this? Here comes the smother. Oh, it's like a pot of jam, but he's got the spoon in there. What an effort. Oh, and full credit, you know, to the Wigan players that were helping him. If they hadn't have been there, Radlinski would have gone straight out onto the whitewash.
Well, he knows his way to the try line when Wakefield are the opposition. And Andrew Farrell now, 99 goals so far this year. What would he give to make this the century? Because it would really mean that Wigan were back in business. They needed a try. Actually, they needed 6 points. And here comes the kick. And Farrell has missed it. 14-4.
Well, it looked for all the world that they had it, didn't they? Look at that. 3 defenders. The sliding defence has been good so far. How on earth did Radlinski get that ball down? Well, it changed the game, I felt, last week against St. Helens. That try, as I mentioned, when it looked like Mickey Hyam was underneath the sticks. Can he have done it again, Eddie?
Well, I wonder. There he is underneath the kick-off as well, Chris Radlinski. And here come Wigan once more. But Wakefield, they were 14-0 up before that try from Chris Radlinski. Phil Clark.
Eddie, they'd probably been fortunate in that Wigan really hadn't had an opportunity to attack the line. The first time they did, they've won a goal line drop it through the accuracy of the kicking and then scored in the corner. I suppose the one area where they've looked to be maybe most vulnerable is wide out on the flanks, both Kevin Brown and of course Linsky on the right hand side. They seem to be compact in the defence of the middle, but they're vulnerable out wide.
And here they come now in the shape of Wild and Tajinala. A second push at him. Maybe the excitement just getting to Semi Tajilala a bit there, because the tackle was effective. He didn't have to push him.
Great tactics by Wigan though. Get the ball around, keep it moving, keep it out wide. They know that's their opportunity. Whilst the adrenaline is pumping through these Wakefield players' bodies, they've just got to keep their nerve as well as Wigan. Just play to the quality, and they know they've got plenty out there.
This is Danny Tickle.
I know it's a blip on the horizon, Eddie, but I think they'll handle it well.
Lamb got a good ball away to Gareth Hock. This is Terry Newton. Now it's Kevin Brown. And another Wigan try in quick succession from Kevin Brown. Well, they were 14-0 down. They looked in trouble. And suddenly the big guns were moved forward. The likes of Farrell, Lamb, Newton. And then Radlinski, of course. And then a youngster takes over in Kevin Brown.
Well, I said the one thing that Wakefield had to do was to keep their composure, not to get too excited at the fact they'd raised to a 14-0 lead. And within the space of 2 minutes, there's Tajilala giving away the silly penalty. Certainly had a second go, Stephen Wild. And from here, he knows the way to the line as this youngster, Kevin Brown. Injured for a big part of this season. But what a time to come back to top form. Scored a try last week as well.
He did. That was his playoff debut. And also a try the previous week against Warrington. He broke his leg against Wakefield in May, Kevin Brown. And he has just scored, arguably, one of the most important tries of his season. But Semi Tadulala's penalty conceded the ground to Wigan. And here now Farrell with the opportunity to cut the lead still further. Needs to kick this. He's got the distance, he has got the direction, he has got the points. Wigan 10, Wakefield still ahead though, 14.
Quick play the ball, keeping the ball alive. They call Wakefield on the blind side. Look at Ellis, he's not even looking at the man playing the ball. By the time he turns round, Brown's in. Couldn't respond quick enough.
Well,
they're stunned.
They are stunned, and all the Wakefield fans, many of them missed the kick-off. For some reason they were still flooding in when the first 3 tries for their team went in. And if it wasn't for our big screen and the people around them, they think they were struggling right now. As it is, they're leading by 4 points. 26 minutes of the match remaining. Ian Millwood, the game has turned. This is a pivotal stage of it now.
I think if you look at the game, there'll be a lot of emotions going through both coaches at the moment, and they've been thinking about the training paddock during the week. If you look at the Wakefield team, they withstood pressure. Ben Jeffries is moving around the park extremely well, their halfback, and then they had a kicking game which applied pressure, and they've come up with tries on the last tackle. Here we go, Wigan up straight after him. And then if you look at Dennis Betts, when they have the ball and they're starting to get the ball the last 5 or 10 minutes, they're wrapping the ball in the one direction, and the Wakefield defence can't get themselves reset. So both coaches know the game plan during the week is being carried out. It's the one who can take the opportunities and defend when they come up those errors. And I would just think at the moment, you know, Wakefield has started well, but there's no cause for them to start celebrate or Wigan get disappointed.
This is Halpenny.
It's an amazing thing though, how one thing can change it, Eddie, and it always seems to be for over the years. Chris Radlinski, he just pulls it out of the hat, doesn't he?
He does. These are the playoffs though now. It is a totally different ball game compared to the 28 weekly rounds. They are fierce enough. But I think in the build-up to this match, Ian Millwood says it raises by at least 10%. And on any other Friday night, you were probably saying that Wakefield were coming like lambs to the slaughter, but not this evening. The stakes are so high. Great chase from Wakefield there, led by Jamie Field, back on the pitch after being out with a broken cheekbone. And Field had a fantastic season for them, wrestling the man to the ground. Brian Carney waiting the nod from Dennis Betts.
It'd be a good move as well from Betts to bring on a speedster like Brian Carney. Does nothing better than running from the dummy half, and that's where Wakefield are being caught at the moment.
Craig Smith, tackled though by David Solomona and David March. Newton is the dummy half, Farrell was the dummy runner, it goes wide. And here is Stephen Wilde, Jeffries and Domick with the tackle. Last one for Wigan. Newton waits. Farrell will hoist the kick, I'm sure. There it is. Farrell is after this himself, comes down out of the sky. Oh, Spicer has dropped it.
Went backwards. According to the official refereeman, he was in a great position as well. Wakefield fans didn't suspect that Danny, Tabular, what a great effort there. I think he got it right, only just though. Nervous times for the fullback.
This is Domick. Here is March. David Solomona hangs on.
This is a big test of Wakefield's character now. Do they go into a shell and try to hang on to half-time? I don't think they should, but it's very difficult. There's not a lot of players out there with semi-final experience, Eddie.
And these people have never experienced the playoffs before either. That's a lovely dink over the top by Dimitriou. Oh, Radlinski again.
What a hit.
How important is Radlinski to this team?
Solid as a rock there. He knew he was going to get clobbered.
Kevin Brown down by Dimitriou. Here is Terry O'Connor. And significantly, maybe, little Luke Robinson is out there. There he is, the dummy half. Comes into Adrian Lamb. And Lamb just showed it to Farrell, then gave it to Andrew Farrell. And Farrell spins away from 2 would-be tacklers. Can't get away from those 2, though. Chris Feather and Darryl Griffin. It's the last. Here's the kick from Lamb. It will turn Halpenny around a little, and does. He's on his own line. The chase from Wigan is good. but Halpenny evades. No, he doesn't. Robinson and Tickle get to him.
Big hit from Tickle as well. Halpenny felt that, looking a little bit dazed. You could see Andy Farrell going for the arm, the ball-carrying arm, that is, and trying to dislodge the football. This is getting into a tough encounter, and the speed of the game so far, it really will take it out of them. Last 10 minutes, oh, anything could happen.
Yes, 10 minutes to half-time or thereabouts. And that's Jamie Field again. One of the most consistent players for Wakefield over the past 6 seasons. Kick down the middle.
Well, both sides, that tactical kicking have been dissecting the winger and the full-back. Only one bat kick from Wigan so far. Jeffries taking control for Wakefield.
Stephen Wild tackled by Tadulala. This is Adrian Lamb. And there is some news of an injury for Wigan. Bill.
It's more on the unfortunate Sean O'Loughlin, Eddie. I understand he's been taken to hospital, in fact, because of this chest injury that he's suffered, which has left him in a lot of discomforts, and as a precaution they are taking him to hospital.
Here come Wigan with Luke Robinson clattered to the deck. An important tackle that was from Steve Snitch.
Rob Spicer down in back play, just receiving. He's trying to get back into the line of defence. Mark Field in good position. Good chase from Wigan though.
Yes, led by Robinson, helped out by Tickle. And here comes Halpenny again.
Smart move by Dennis Betts. We saw Brian Carney being warming up on the sideline.
He's taking his tracksuit off now. He'll be introduced at any moment, Brian Carney.
Well, he's got so much speed, and so has got Luke Robinson.
Here is Carney. He has been a match winner so many times for Wigan in the past. It has been a real interrupted season for him. Can Wakefield hang on to half-time? That's young Paul Hanford. Last one, they're on halfway. This is Ben Jeffries, and they're running it, or trying to. Dimitriou hangs on somehow. Oh, and he flicks the ball away.
Oh, he's given himself up. That came off a Wigan player, I think. Adrian Lamb made no attempt to get it. He was on the last.
And it's a Wigan knock-on, says Russell Smith.
Well, he's made a boo-boo there, because Lamb, as far as I'm concerned, deliberately lifts the arm and says that I never touched it. Well, he's got it wrong. They went for the power play. But Dimitriou just gave himself up, but it came back to him. Well, they won't be knocking it, Wakefield. They'll be quite happy to apply the pressure. Not the best pass there.
Gomick has got the ball from the base of the scrum, and he has support here from Steve Smith. Well, Wakefield with a little bit of a lucky call from Russell Smith. Can they capitalise on it? Dimitriou still. Should have got it wide. Tadulala is out on the wing, waiting for the pass to come. It's with Solomona, and Solomona. It's offside against Wigan.
He allowed the advantage. He got clattered. Solomona.
I think they might take a kick and goal here.
Well, I certainly would. It's been pretty hectic out there. Look at the hit from Farrell. He's had a mighty season, hasn't he? They're a bit shaky at the start of the Super League season. What a hit.
Well, they are going to have a shot at goal here, Wakefield.
Well, they've got to, mainly just to calm things down.
Ryan Carney still to be introduced by Dennis Betts, but he's waiting, and he will be brought on after this kick. And the kick has changed. It's Paul Hanford. And the Wakefield fans, who have swelled in number, I must say, over the past 35 minutes.
Well, there must be a problem with the M62, Eddie.
There must be.
And that's no surprise, is it, on a Friday night? You know, I just get a feeling that David March has gone into this game with an injury. We haven't seen much running from him from dummy half. And the mere fact that he's given away the goal-kicking responsibility just indicates to me that he may be struggling.
Well, there's a few St Helens fans here. I'm sure they aren't left over from the weekend, but they're all up the Wakefield end of the field. They're cheering the Wildcats on here. Anyone can beat Wigan as far as St Helens are concerned, and vice versa. Here is Hanford. He's missed it. Well, the goal kicking might come back to haunt Wakefield. because that is 3 misses, 2 missed by March and 1 just by Paul Hanford. That's 6 extra points if they go over, and 20-10 is a lot healthier with 5 to go to half-time than 14-10, obviously. But it's a drop out from the 20-metre line here by Farrell. We'll get some length on it. Into the arms of Field, Mark Field that is, and here goes Steve Stitch again.
That's one release, get square!
Carney is off.
Oh, big hit, Craig Smith.
2!
Oh, they're stoking up the boiler now.
Well, they know they can't let Korkidas run. Here is Gareth Ellis. This is out. Spicer finds Demetriou. Demetriou to Hal Penny.
Not the best offload there. Lee didn't like it, Shane McNally, and rightly so.
14-0 up, now 14-10 up. Shane McNally with Jamie Field. Great offload, Demetriou. Demetriou will straighten it up here. And gets the ball away to Jeffries. Here is Solomona. And Solomona escapes the net of Lamb. Flicks the ball back off the knees of Jeffries. It went back, play on. And Jeffries again.
Crowd don't like it, Mitchell got it spot on. More pressure.
Hanford, Snitch, offload brilliantly, Jeffries with the kick, bounces off, a Wigan defender and Luke Robinson the man, who dropped on the ball gratefully for the Warriors.
Wonderful play by the little halfback, anticipated the kick, but good build up there by the Wildcats. Good kick from Jeffries. Important now that they keep them way down in their own quarter.
That's a penalty.
Well, I'm not so sure I heard the call. Obviously,
I think it's a wrestle. It was an attack around the neck area.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You can't do that anymore.
Nope.
What I never get used to saying it, but it's a grapple tackle, isn't it? Get the R in the wrong place,
Yes.
and anything could happen.
Well, it's an apple tackle, isn't it? Adams apple tackle.
Gareth Hock, Danny Orr and Craig Smith.
Release 2!
Well, no matter what happens in this match between now and the end of the game, Wakefield have given a tremendous account of themselves. And they aren't going to wave the white flag, I'll tell you that. This is Farrell. Back it goes to Lamb. He gives it a little bit of space. And Tickle is grabbed again by Korkidas.
Again, the sliding defence is working exceptionally well for Wakefield.
Adrian Lamb, he missed 1. He gets the ball to Radlinski. It goes back inside to Farrell. And Farrell is halted by 3 on the last.
Surely a high one.
Five.
Robinson, Adrian Lamb. And Halfpenny takes charge of the situation.
Bit of an accidental trip there from Kevin Brown. Halfpenny just sidestepped away.
Here is Mark Field.
Certainly no intent. That's the reason why the official said play on.
12 breaks from Wakefield.
It's been an incredible performance.
It has. 2 minutes to half-time. This is dangerous territory for Wakefield, Phil.
Very dangerous. I just sense the Wigan's urgency. They're trying to force a mistake. They've stopped the clock. Obviously the speed with which Wigan were coming in there, they're just trying to force the ball out in their consent. If they can get possession here, they'll back the chances of going over. Look there, the speed with which Wigan are coming up to hit the Wakefield players. He's got injured in the tackle. Maybe that will just help Wakefield, and it might not help him when he recovers from that. But
it's Domick again, Phil, and he was doubtful coming into the match.
Well, he did well, didn't he, to hang on to the ball. He's looked dangerous too. He's been important for the Wakefield side that he's been out there. But they'll want to just catch their breath and certainly get as much distance as they can. Shane McNally now coming down to prepare for his address to the team at half-time and hoping they can hang on to this lead.
Well, Dennis Betts looks a little anxious, but Shane McNally will be the more anxious of the two here, because there is obviously a problem for Sid Domick.
Well, it's a knock to the head, and you can see a bit of claret running out of the mouth.
Got it!
And I suppose, even though he's a bit groggy, Eddie.
Well, he'll have to leave the field.
Yeah, but I hate to say it, Shane McNally would have been more concerned if it had been the leg, the problem leg. At least they'll have a good 10 minutes to sort him out, settle him down, stop the marbles.
Time back on, and Wakefield will play this ball once more. And Wigan are hunting the mistake here. They want another set of 6. They will get another set of, I think, because this is tackle number 4 unless Wakefield score. And here is Solomona, and he's away from Stephen Wild. Tickle and O'Connor.
He's injected a lot, hasn't he, since he come off the bench, Paul Hanford.
Last tackle.
Handful.
Give him 10, lads.
Oh, and that's not the best kick. It's straight to Brian Carney. Now can Brian... Oh! David Solomona. Carney was lifted from his feet and dumped back.
Oh, where did that come from? Full credit to Carney. He was struggling to get up as quick as he could.
Radlinski, Kevin Brown. Oh, and that's just the touch shot. And Wakefield will hang on to the lead at half-time.
But I'm sure that Dennis Betts will get the team in the shed at half-time. Say, look, calm down a little bit. Because you got the sliding defence, you've got to have your wingman coming back on the inside of the centre at all times. There's no way you can get on the outside. The Wakefield sliding defence is so good.
Stay in the back, Danny Tickle, stay in.
It's Ben Jeffries, and he gets the ball in field to his captain, Gareth Ellis.
I think they're quite happy just to see their set of 6 out here.
Great run from Hanford to halfway.
Let him out.
Well, if they concede a penalty, Wakefield might have another pop at goal. McGilvray on the 3rd. They'll have 2 more tackles maybe. Korkidas. Such a difficult man to get down. He's trying to get it away as well. It was Mark Field hunting the pass on his inside. Hanford. And this is Snitch.
One drive and the field goal. This will be it. They've got to go for it.
And he's set play on, and Jeffries, it's charged down, it's play on. Now it is the end of the first half. Well, what a first half for Wakefield and their supporters. They lead by 14 points to 10 here at Wigan, and Andrew Farrell trying to raise his troops, get them off the field quickly so they can get into the dressing room and address the problem with their coach Dennis Betts. But 14-0 after 18 minutes, Wakefield were flying high. 3 tries. Then Radlinski and Brown got Wigan back in the match. But these are the playoffs, and anything can happen, and still might.
Well, they look at the opposition, and there's so many great stars out there.
Wigan get us underway then. Radlinski's boot. The Warriors seeking a 5th grand final in 2 weeks' time. They've lost just 2 of their 11 playoff matches on home soil since 1998, and they've won their last 8 playoff matches at the JJB Stadium. Such is the task that Wakefield have faced tonight, and such is the achievement that they have given themselves already. To lead at half-time here is no mean feat.
Pretty good defence there as well. They've kept a sharp eye on David Solomona. We know his qualities of offloading the ball. There's nothing better than to play out wide on the fringe.
Hanford, the dummy half. Korkidas looking to lift the Wildcats as he did at Hull last Friday night with a great run, but Farrell and O'Connor know all about that. They will have studied the tape, and he goes down in the tackle. Hanford, the dummy half. Ben Jeffries skips away from Newton, dabs the kick in. It's swept up, and Field was all over the collar of Danny Orr.
Good pressure from Wigan there. You can see that Ben Jeffries couldn't get a kick away. Finished up with just a dribble through. Danny Orr had it well and truly covered.
Kevin Brown. Adrian Lamb waits. Gets the ball in field to Gareth Hock.
Be interesting to see whether Shane McNally has changed his defensive formation. We spoke about it a lot in the first half. They slide in defence. They may go to a one-on-one.
Little dummy from Adrian Lamb. Ellis and McGilvray did well. Terry Newton on the last tackle. Danny Orr just slides the kick down field, and a little fumble from Mark Field, and it's allowed Wigan to close in. Well, Wakefield in possession. David Wrench is not in the side tonight, but he's on the side here with Bill.
Thanks, Eddie. I'm sitting among the Wakefield players who are missing out tonight. Jamie Rooney, Olivier Lima and David Wrench. Are you pinching yourselves, or did you think this was possible, 14-10 at this stage of the game?
Well, we knew we can do it. We've got that self-belief now. We're building a bit of momentum. We beat Hull last week, and also momentum that we went into top 6 playoffs. But
this is a crucial part of the game, isn't it? And Wigan are going to come out very strongly at you now.
Well, you saw at the end of the first half, that Wigan just started to build, and then that's what Wigan do to you. If they get on a roll, that's when they're going to cause you problems. We've just got to stop that now.
Still no Sid Domic back. I understand he's having stitches in the mouth. I mean, that's a big loss, isn't it, if he can't come back?
And Sid's been awesome for us all season. He's a big attacking part of our team. But Rob Spice is filling in at centre, and he can just do exactly the same as him.
Thanks, David.
Okay, no problem.
Still confident in the Wakefield camp, and why not? They lead. This is Gareth Hock, though, and Steve Snitch all over him. And with Jamie Field, he's brought down. Ball comes in field to Andrew Farrell. Looks for the runner. It's Radlinski who offloads to Lamb. Back it goes to Farrell. And Farrell offloads to Stephen Wild. But no way through this defence for Dennis Betts' men so far. Carney. And Carney will straighten it up. Another great tackle by Korkidas. Newton to O'Connor.
He's lost it.
He has. He thought he was close to the try line. And the ball was lost by Terry O'Connor.
Good refereeing there. No advantage to Wakefield, so close to their own line. So they lost it, tried to flip it at the last moment.
Yeah, I thought he was trying to score a try there. Maybe he just lost his geography a bit. Terry O'Connor hasn't scored many tries in his career.
Yeah, he's a bit confused. He's already asked the question to the official.
Well, he said that the ball went backwards, I think. But Russell Smith's opinion is the only one that matters. So Wakefield have the scrum.
It's getting a bit spicy in there.
A big push at the scrum. Jeffries got the ball from the base of the scrum, gave it to Mark Field. Great tackle by Radlinski. Here's Jeffries again. And Demetrio. That was an important tackle there by Danny Orr.
Well, he hasn't done much in attack as a stand-off from Wigan, Danny Orr, but he certainly is working overtime in defence.
Great hit by Craig Smith on Duncan McGilvray. That was the story last week as well, Danny Orr. He was massive in defence for Wigan against the Saints.
Certainly was. He seems to have lost the sparkle that we've seen over the past 2 seasons with the Castleford side. But he certainly is pulling his weight tonight in the defensive quality.
Solomona, lovely flick ball to Jeffries. He's got support here from Steve Snitch. It comes wide, and here come the Wildcats again with...
He's lost it.
He has lost it there.
Has he got it back? He's got it back. No, it bobbled. Redlinski has come up with another magnificent effort.
And Carney can't get away from Ellis.
What a tackle, and then it finishes up in the breadbasket of the full-back.
Brett Dallas. They have the penalty for offside, Wigan.
Well, it was a great build-up, and you can see there that there's about 3 or 4 he could select.
Well, a vital phase of the match for Wakefield, Phil.
Definitely so, Eddie. When these two sides met here in the Challenge Cup earlier in the year, it was pretty close at half-time. Wigan lifted the intensity and the pace of the second half, and after about 10 minutes from half-time, Wakefield probably just couldn't quite live with it, and Wigan's dominance grew. They went on to win the game. It's important now for Wakefield. 1 or 2 of the players look the more tired at the moment. They need to lift and live with Wigan's intensity right now.
Phil making the point about the Challenge Cup, but that was at the start of the season. This Wakefield side have grown in stature as the Super League season has progressed.
They certainly have, Eddie, but Wigan really have to feel that confidence as well. They've got to keep the ball alive. They can't just take it individually. They've got to play as a unit like they are now.
And they're flicking the ball wide to Brown, and he gets it wider further to Dallas, and Halpenny and McGilvray are hounding him down. It's the last tackle here for Wigan.
Beautiful pass by Kevin Brown.
There is Kevin Brown at dummy half, and here is Adrian Lamb, who'll stab the kick in, but not the best, and Mark Field picks it up.
Good job that Farrell got to him as well. The full-back was on his way. Not so sure that Farrell was standing square then. And I'm not so sure that Russell Smith is getting them back the required 10, but it's all happening.
Wakefield in possession here with Paul Hanford.
He's the man that I think can win it for Wakefield. The substitute, Paul Hanford, he really has played exceptionally well when he came off the bench. Runs from dummy half, full of control.
Dimitri, who has pumped it downfield, he maybe was looking for a 40-20 then. A terrific set of 6 defensively for Wigan, but look at the chase from Wakefield as Dallas picks it up, and Solomona leads the way, as he has done for much of this season for Wakefield. Here goes Radlinski now. And Wakefield still hang on to this lead, this 4-point advantage, coming up to the 8th minute of the second half. Time is on Wakefield's side. Stephen Wild. Quick play the ball, Terry Newton. Oh, and it went behind Martin Aspinwall.
Well, one of the most experienced players in Super League has come up with a shocker, and he knows it too. Did everything right, apart from the fact that he took 3 steps forward and coming back on the inside. Kenny Spets, far from impressed. He knows how important field position is to either side.
But if this scoreline stays in Wakefield's favour at the end of tonight's match, we will be guaranteed the first grand final with teams from the east of the Pennines exclusively. It has never happened before. And this really has never happened. Oh, Spicer offloaded, and the coach-in-chief was right behind him, Danny Orr.
Well, Danny Orr was just loitering with intent there, and it just flopped straight into him. Just a rush of blood by the loose forward, Rob Spicer. Who'd be a coach?
Adrian Lamb finds Radlinski.
Getting more and more confident as well as Chris Radlinski. He's not only joining in as he normally goes out wide, he's sniffing out in and around the play the ball area.
Terry Newton, Andrew Farrell this time. Farrell flicked the dummy. It comes out the back door to Craig Smith. Craig Smith back to Farrell. This is out. O'Connor finds Radlinski, and he drifts away from McGilvery. No, he doesn't.
Great tackle. Could have been penalised.
And he is penalised. A second lift of the ankle by Duncan McGilvery.
He just panicked. They'll take the 2, surely.
Well, he has some playoff experience, McGilvery. He knows he shouldn't have done that. He's played in the playoffs for Penrith in Australia. And Andrew Farrell, he has respect. He's going to cut the lead with the goal if he can.
Well, I often wonder whether it runs through the players' minds that, are we going to concede a 4, possibly 6? Is it better for me to give away a chance for only to offer the opposition 2 points?
Well, I wonder whether that is the thought of coaches and players. Ian Millwood.
Well, can I just say before we say that is that the most absorbing and intriguing battle has been Korkidis, the big front rower for Wakefield, and Smith for Wigan. But when those 2 on the field, both teams looked really good in their go forward and attack. I think they're both playing outstanding. But gee, I'm watching this game at the moment, Eddie, and all I can see is Wigan in Wakefield's half, and all I can see is when Wigan get the ball, getting in that half very easy. And that's the telling point for Wakefield at present. I don't think he should have went for the 2. They're making easy yards. Let's keep at them, because there's a long time to go. You're not going to win the game now, but you're going to give yourself a great chance to win it. And I don't think they need to go for the 2.
But do you subscribe to the view that Steve-O just put forward? Well, we might concede 6 here. Let's just give them 2 and see how we go thereafter.
Well, I think they need the break with Wakefield. You know, when they need the break, I thought they had space on the left-hand side. They were beating them around the rucks. But, you know, they've probably cashed in 2 points just to not get up 6. And interesting with Korkidis coming off, their intensity dropped when he came off in the first half. Can they maintain it? Because they badly need it at the moment.
Well, Korkidis was the man who lifted the Wakefield Wildcats at Hull last week. And now he is off the field after just 11.5 minutes of this second half. But number 4, Sid Domick, is back out there, you notice, with the stitches in the cut mouth. Boy, these Super League players are brave beyond belief, aren't they?
Well, either that or stupid, Eddie.
Let's call them brave.
I've never been able to work it out over the years, but they do put their bodies on the line, and the skill factor today has been outstanding.
Well, there are some sports where players disappear for a broken fingernail, but not this one. Here is O'Connor.
Just get the feeling that Wigan quite happy just to use the forwards, then get the kick downfield. Good play from Adrian Lamb there under pressure. Offloaded it to his skipper. Chase is good too.
And this is Mark Field, and Farrell made the kick and made the tackle.
Been impressed with Mark Field. His positional sense has been Outstanding.
Almost passed the ball then to the Wakefield trainer, who'd come on with the water and no doubt some instructions from Shane McNally. Here's Darren Griffin. And Hanford gets the ball away to McGilvray again. They're almost up to half-time. They're halfway, right? Oh, that's
got to
a
be a penalty.
That's silly from Gareth Hoff.
It certainly is. And
Dennis Best will be furious with that.
he's every right to be, because Ben Jeffries will punch this right into the corner. You know, I just get the feeling that this Wigan crowd, they're just sitting there and just waiting and expecting.
They're expecting something special.
Well, they're expecting it, but it's not coming yet. They're still behind.
They might get something special. We might get the first extra time, and we might get the first golden point playoff match. Here comes McGilvray. Oh, and he tried to get that ball away. That's suicide from McGilvray.
Inexperience there. Inexperience, and it's very...
Danny Orr! And here they come again. They're on the charge. It's Radlinski. And Radlinski has got support with him. He couldn't get the ball away. Tadulala did a wonderful job.
So did Dimitru.
Someone's in the bed.
Yeah.
Is it Solomon or is it Dimitru? It is David Solomon, and that's a huge blow for Wakefield. They did everything right in stopping the ball being fed out wide. But then the professional foul to try and slow Wigan down.
Well, what about the warning? Surely the warning first. I don't think that the tackle was completed. That is a tough call, and he knows it. And what about the warning? Dimitri does everything right, comes off him.
Tackle's not made.
I know it's not made, and then he penalises him. Not only does he penalise him, he sends him into the... He's ruined the game.
Shane McNally and Tony Smith. A lot of people talk about Tony Smith at Leeds Rhinos, who has had a great season, but Tony Smith in his first season as assistant to Shane McNally, they have been a terrific team.
They certainly have, Eddie, but we saw there McGilvray do a definite second goal, got penalised. Why wasn't he in the sin bin then? Now we have someone who wants to join in the rules of the game and make a tackle, and the official has made the biggest boo-boo of the season.
Farrell, though, could not convert the penalty. Will they get a second set of 6 here? They will. That's good reaction from Wigan, and that might be even more important than the 2 points, you know. They're going to get another set of 6 here to attack the Wakefield line.
Well, we often talk about character, and he slipped there, did Andy Farrell. Slipped in the build-up to it, but the chase was good. No way helping he was going to get out of there.
Just made the point about Tony Smith in the white cap there. He actually played for Wigan in 2 grand finals, including the 1998 grand final, the inaugural year when Wigan won the trophy, and the last time that Leeds Rhinos were there. Will they be there again this year?
That was a forward pass.
And it was a knock-on anyway.
Well, they're crucifying it. Things are not going Wakefield's way, and then all of a sudden, and Brown, it's a high pass, and he knows it. Tension, stroke of the hair, try to find a few grey ones or hide them. Oh.
Kevin Brown.
Well, justice has been done there, Eddie.
So, Wakefield with Gareth Ellis. And that's a very similar incident, isn't it, to what we had a few moments ago. Here's Domic. Hanford. Griffin. Danny Sculthorpe and Farrell. Pulsating match, Phil, again in the playoffs.
It certainly is. You know, it's probably over half an hour though since Wakefield looked like they were going to score a try, and unless they get within close proximity of Wigan line, it might be another 30 minutes before they have a chance of doing it again as well. They just can't get close to it. If you think back to when they were most dangerous at the opening part of the game, it was when they were putting dangerous kicks and having good close support play around the ball carrier. All of a sudden now they've been unable to exert any pressure on Wigan. Maybe this is the chance right now.
Well, I must say there, Wigan should have got a penalty because it was not played correctly by the Wakefield player. Maybe the tension's getting to the official, it appears that way. Listen to the crowd.
And they're Wakefield supporters, by the way. This is pretty good, and there will be a full house at Headingley. All tickets gone 24 hours ago. Leeds and Bradford. Whoever wins that goes to Old Trafford for the grand final. And talking of grand finals, the Aussie grand final, Sunday morning, 9:30. The Roosters and the Bulldogs. Live, Sky Sports 2.
Well, 2 forward passes being missed by the official. It really is getting to him.
Oh, poor kick from Lamb, straight down the throat of Mark Field.
Well, the 12 men of Wakefield, they hang on.
Well, they scored a try last week against Hull when they had a man in the bin.
Yep.
This is Halpenny, who's already scored tonight. Dimitriou.
Fascinating thing about that last Wigan attack. Remember, they've got a man over. They've got to get it wide of the ruck.
McGilvray. Halted by Tickle. Darryl Griffin over the halfway line. Jinked his way away from Craig Smith, but couldn't get past the next two.
It's got to be a good kick.
And here is Jeffries. Oh, came up for it. And Jeffries running it back on the inside to Domick. Domick tried to get the ball away. Tajulala.
It'll be a try. It'll be a try.
Ben Jeffries. And Jeffries will go over under the sticks. And there is another almighty shamozzle for the video referee to sort out here. Jeffries touches down. And the referee wants to see how the ball came out. He says try. And Stevo says try, but the video referee is the man that counts.
Well, Domick gets the ball away. Is that going backwards? Did it come off Farrell's hand? It's all got to be taken into account. It's in a similar position that we remember when we were at Hull at the KC Stadium. There was a try disallowed there. Has he knocked it down? Or has it come from Farrell's hand? That's what the video referee's got to decide.
Well, Jeff Berry is tonight's video referee. He has been called on already to make a few crucial decisions. On that, it looks like a knock-on, but hey.
Yeah, but he was trying to offload Eddie. And if he's trying to offload and Andy Farrell gets a hand to it, then that's play on.
And there was a heel that touched the ball last week that proved crucial. Well, it looks like he's made his mind up, Jeff Berry. Ben Jeffrey said try, so did Steve-O. Mr. Berry. Not given to Wakefield, and maybe, just maybe, that's the turning point in Wigan's favour.
Well, we spoke about many turning points in this game, Eddie. Must say, he's pretty cool and calm, wasn't he? Shane McNally, been around this game for a long, long time. He realises the one thing that perhaps a lot of people are forgetting is that Wakefield are still leading.
They are, and they have 21 minutes to hang on and maybe, just maybe, progress still further. Chris Mather comes back on.
The big positive for them, Eddie, is that if they can just get away with not conceding any points whilst they've got the man in the sin bin, that alone will be a huge lift for them.
And here is Andrew Farrell. And of course, the man in the sin bin is David Solomona, who is a key cog in this Wakefield side. Here goes Farrell again.
Wonderful play from Farrell.
And he offloads to Newton, who gives it then to Adrian Lamb. And Lamb will give it wide to Gareth Hock. And Gareth Hock comes back this way, and Lamb will take over once more. Gareth Hock waits at dummy half. The Wakefield defence scrambling and puffing its way back. It's with Radlinski. It's on to Farrell. Knock on.
They had them. And he knows it. Just that little look, that vital little spin of the head.
They've survived so far. 2.5 minutes remaining for David Solomona.
He can't believe it. I think he's more stunned by the fact that Andy Farrell knocked on with the overlap. A try was begging there.
Oh, off the leg of Ben Jeffries. And the crowd behind the posts and all round that part of the field furious. But they're Wigan fans. What else would you expect? Tajulala will play the ball to Dimitriou. This is a terrific show from the men from Wakefield. It really is. Hanford over halfway. Just. McGilvray gets it away to Griffin. It's the last tackle here for Wakefield. Jeffries, the kicker-in-chief, all
Well
along
done.
the deck, but straight to Radlinski. Now then, who would your money be on in the last 20 minutes? Ian Millwood.
Well, there's an old saying, it's never the same unless you're at the game to reach the emotion. But if you're here at the game, you'd find that off the ball, Wakefield are struggling to get back in the defensive line. A crucial drop ball. They are making easy yards. You'd have to say the momentum is a long way to go as with Wigan. They look like they're about to score every set of 6. They're hanging in there, Wakefield. I don't know if they can hang in there. I hope they can, Eddie, but I don't think they can.
McGilvray is penalised, and now there is another warning going to Gareth Ellis, the Wakefield captain. They've already got Solomona in the bin, or had him in the bin, and McGilvray is walking a very thin line.
Certainly has. That should have been in the bin there.
And don't quickly play the ball. With coaching decisions on replacements, if you look at young Robertson, they're struggling to get back to the defensive line. Him around the rucks now would create unbelievable opportunities and create a lot of doubt, especially on the big blokes like Feather. You look at Griffin, Korkitis is off at the moment, and it's significant they're going for the 2 again, the Wigan Warriors, which is a huge rap for the Wakefield Wildcats. But I just think they need to keep at it, Wigan, and the dam will bust. There's a lot of cracks there. They're just waiting for it to crack.
Maybe they feel if they get level with Wakefield, the Wakefield confidence drops.
Well, that's
I don't know.
Well, you can just feel the excitement. I can just feel us up here. Russell Smith, some really, really touchy decisions. If you talk about a crowd, rent a crowd. This Wigan crowd is on his back, and maybe we work all week on the team. Maybe we should rent more fans and give more pressure.
The way Ian Millwood said, get Luke Robinson on, and Luke Robinson has arrived on the field, and Farrell has missed another. And here come Wakefield in the shape of Halpenny. Well, Farrell's missed 3 kicks tonight. I pointed the finger at the Wakefield kickers in the first half who missed 3. It's evened itself up in that department now.
Oh, what a wonderful game this has been. This has had everything. Pressure not only for the players and the fans, but for the officials out there. Video referee coming into its play.
Solomona waiting to come back on. Here's Ellis. Have Wakefield survived with a man short. They haven't conceded a try. They haven't conceded anything. And they're running this.
Oh, he's taken out. He was taken out after the kick, and the touch judge has just completely ignored it.
This is Radlinski, and he's grabbed to the ground by Ellis. Solomona returns, by the way. I think he was committed to the tackle, Steve-O.
Well, he might have been.
Goldthorpe gets the ball away to Robinson, a loop pass to Farrell, and Farrell will take them on up the middle.
He's been magnificent as a Wigan skipper.
Well, he has all year.
Unbelievable tonight, though. He's been looking for the ball. There was one passage of play about 5 minutes ago. He was involved in 3 different areas.
Here's Robinson. Feather misses him, but he's not missed by Gareth Ellis. Adrian Lamb. It's all Wigan in attack. He gets the ball to Danny Orr. There's no way that Orr can get rid of it. Yes, he can, to Craig Smith. And he finds Farrell. And Farrell comes back down the middle, and the tackle is completed eventually. That's the last. Here is Robinson. They're running it. Robinson kicking one way, the other.
He's lost it.
And it's just a tickle. And they cannot go for a forward pass.
It's a knock-on.
Not forward, Jeff.
They want to check whether it was a knock-on. Steve-O called it. Remember, if he diffuses it, but he...
That's a knock-on.
Well, I don't know.
Well, it was going forward.
Well, Ian Millwood has also just looked at the screen.
Nice step, though. Well, that's got to be going forward.
Or did it go... Well, Ian Millwood, what say you? Did that go backwards?
Well, you know what, the referee...
That's all right.
The referee's whistle went straight to his mouth, and he wanted to say it was a knock-on. Then he thought, gee, I've got to go to the video ref. But they can't rule on a forward pass, so he's got to rule on a knock-on.
It's got to be a knock-on or nothing at all.
Yeah, but does he propel it backwards? Oh, gee, I think it propels it backwards nearly there.
I'm not so sure.
It's like the one in the first half when Wakefield knocked it back with the arm.
But the first movement of the linesman, the ref...
Let's have a look. Hang on. This is a call. It's denied. It's denied.
Well, Eddie, the first movement of the linesman, the ref, was to pull the play back, and it was a knock-on. Anyway... I'm glad for Wakefield here because, gee, they're hanging in. They're showing a real courageous effort.
Oh, they ever. 15 minutes remaining. Wakefield. Never have they won on this ground. Never have they beaten Wigan in the Super League. They are a quarter of an hour away from the biggest upset of the year.
Hey Eddie, how incredible sport in rugby league. 28 rounds here. Who would have thought Wakefield's going to be the team that rolls over Wigan here to break their record? And here we're talking about a fairy tale which is building momentum.
It is. Ian Millwood mentioned the North Queensland Cowboys in the build-up to the match. Ian, it is exactly like your old mate Graham Murray back home.
Yeah, well, you know what, they've just enjoyed it and they just keep working for each other and they're hanging in there. They want to be here next week and they're doing all the little things right here at the moment. You know, I think Korkidas has had a great game, but it's everyone's just done the little things right. They've got the stars, Wigan. They look like they can break them apart, but it's the little things by Wakefield that keep them in the game.
And here comes Ned Domick. Oh, the pass. That's a knock-on against Jeffries. It was so close to the match-winning play.
Well, Domick knew he'd made the half break. He knew the defence was coming over. This will be head and feet for Wigan. Just couldn't get to him, and then he gets him on the second chance. Oh. I'm shaking like a leaf. This is unbelievable.
It is.
I mean, I have been admiring Wigan over the past 8 weeks, Eddie. They have been so fit.
Well, they're in a real test of their fitness and everything else right now.
Well, it's going to be what's left in the tank from either side. Next try will win it, don't worry about that.
Here's Craig Smith. Retires at the end of the year, doesn't want to go out a loser. Neither does Terry O'Connor, neither does Danny Orr or this fella, Adrian Lamb. Farrell. Radlinski slipped and took the crack from Domick. The tackle completed by David March. He's injured Radlinski. Adrian Lamb. Infielder comes to Craig Smith again. And Craig Smith slips the net. They're 20 metres away on the last tackle. Luke Robinson. It goes wide to Lamb once again. The kick through, bouncing here and there and everywhere. And it's clear, touching goal. Mark Field to the rescue.
Again, wonderful positioning by the fullback. He's had a tremendous game. He just got the right foot to it. In fact, I think it's a shin that he gets to it first, under a lot of pressure from Kevin Brown. What a game. I think both coaches realise the next try will seal it. Their heads will definitely go down on the side that concedes it.
Referee's called time off, the Wigan crowd going potty. Time's back on now as Jeffries gets 40 metres on the kick to Radlinski. And here comes Danny Tickle. Can Wakefield hang on to this? Look at that defence from Griffin and Korkidas. Certainly the dream is alive. At opening 18 minutes of this match where they built the 14-0 lead, they've hung on to it so far. 12 minutes to survive and progress. 12 minutes for Wigan to come back and win the game. Sculthorpe, Craig Smith, he's through the first line. He gets the ball away and Robinson knocks on.
But he deserved that, I must say. The last 10 minutes, the prop forward Craig Smith has been the man mounted. He has said, let's go down the middle. And Robinson just got a tickle to it. That's what it means to be a coach in a semi-final.
March to Korkidas.
Ooh, swinging out there from Craig Smith. It has been one heck of a battle between the front row from either side.
March, infield it comes to Gareth Ellis. A week ago, the Wakefield Wildcats were 150 to 1 to win the grand final. Their odds were slashed after Hull. If they hang on here, what price? The dream for Wakefield. Aspinwall,
well,
great chase again.
If you're a Wakefield fan, that's the first poor kick from Ben Jeffries. It was right down the throat of Chris Radlinski.
Here's Brett Dallas. Here's Brett Dallas.
Oh, he just got hold of him, Korkidas. That's probably the biggest tackle of his life.
Quick play the ball, Danny Orr, and he's through one. Can he get the ball away? Yes, to Craig Smith. He hands it on to Stephen Wild. Tagliano has missed Wild. Jeffries gets to him.
Got to swing it across as wide as they can.
Wakefield are on their feet.
It's written on all the faces, and the experienced man, Adrian Lamb, knows it, that they may have got out of jail.
The MP for Wakefield, David Hinchcliffe, he's obviously come back from the Labour Party conference for this, and he will be hoping against hope that this isn't the last throw of the dice.
Well, how many times have the substitute Danny Sculthorpe just provided the pass to make the break, put them in a position? Danny Orr has come alive, but there's nothing more lively than this. The halfback Adrian Lamb, he knows, and look at the expression on the captain's face. He knows that they're going to survive, but are they? Can the Wildcats hit back? Surely this is an easy 2 points right in front. I said the next try would do it.
Well, Farrell has missed with 3, uncharacteristically. This is bang in front, just about. They lead 16-14. And another 2 points. It's 18-14, but it is still retrievable for Wakefield.
Well, that beautiful pass put them in that position that sent Danny Orr through, and they were out on their feet. Nothing was going to stop Adrian Lamb, much to the delight and the disgust and the despair to the Wakefield coach, Shane McNally.
Phil Clark, what about that from Adrian Lamb?
Well, you just sensed, didn't you? Wigan turned their blowtorch up on full, and they just waited to see whether Wakefield could handle that heat. Ultimately, really, they were just making too much ground, and as here Millward staged over 5, 10, 15-minute period, sooner or later, logic dictated that the Wakefield defence had to crack. Eventually it did. The question now is, do they have any response? I was looking at the body language, 1 or 2 of them trying to talk it up, be positive, but it's difficult now with Wigan making so much easy ground.
And here comes Wigan in the shape of Stephen Wild. There was a little darting run from Robinson that was just held back, and here he is again. He finds Sculthorpe, who showed it on the inside to Farrell, but took the tackle from Feather and Darryl Griffin.
Wakefield is struggling to get back on the 10.
Farrell will hoist the kick, and here's a tester.
Oh, he
he's
was
taken
taken out, surely.
The referee will say play on.
Well, I'm not so sure it's an advantage, is it?
Well, was he competing the ball? I think Tickle probably was, and that's why he got benefit of the doubt from Roger Smith.
Either way, the big problem now for the Wildcats is getting field position.
This game isn't over yet, Steve-O. There's 4 points in it, that's all.
But Dennis Betts would have got the message out. You'll never play for Wigan again if you give away a penalty down there. That's how cruel it'll be. They've got to make sure that when Wakefield get to the last tackle.
Knock on.
Oh, that really is.
Mark Field just couldn't hang on.
Well, that's about his first ever.
But what a tackle from Danny Tickle.
Oh, it was great stuff. Korkinis has done he's done his bit. And don't be surprised if Wigan put on a set move here.
Lamb from the base of the scrum finds Martin Aspinwall. Danny Orr waits. Adrian Lamb, the hero of the hour for Wigan.
Well, he's been a great servant to this club, and I'm sure that he's turned it around.
Terry O'Connor.
All they have to do is get. Oh, was that pulled out to knock on? Ooh, Terry O'Connor looks at the officials and said, "You've got to be kidding." There looked to be a few hands inside there. Oh no! It looked as though he was trying to offload. Or was it? Yeah, there was a hand in there.
That's very difficult for an official to pick that up.
Well, it certainly is, but it appeared on the replay that Snitch certainly got to it. Now then.
Oh, great tackle, Ratinski.
Been solid, hasn't it?
And here's Mark Field. Robinson gets to him.
They can't relax though, the Warriors.
They cannot. Solomona. Feather. Lamb with an important tackle. David Marsh. David Solomona. Solomona bump Jeffries. Another priceless tackle from Luke Robinson. Wakefield haven't given this up. It's into the arms of Tadulala. And Tadulala almost escapes.
Couldn't offload there. Andy Farrell just clinging to him.
Last tackle here for Wakefield. High kick from Jeffries, but
there's nobody there.
There isn't.
Whoa! Nearly went in the touch there.
Dallas will take the tackle from Halfpenny. Well, what a game. And who's the man of the match? Dave Hatfield.
Any number of nominations for Wakefield players. Mark Field, Ben Jeffries, Ellis, Solomon, and a lot of them. But one Wigan name above all has been mentioned. A very essential try he scored, the best tackle of the match, and it's his urgency really. His pick play the balls, drawn the penalties. Chris Radlinski, he's our man of the match tonight.
Radlinski, man of the match. Will Wigan win the match because of his contribution? Farrell is wrestled to the ground. We're well inside the last 5 minutes, and it's the last tackle here for Wigan. And it's Radlinski who hopes it downfield, and Markfield allows it to bounce sensibly and will come back at them.
Great play from Radlinski there, you know. He put himself on the loop because he knew that the kicker was under pressure.
Halfpenny is tackled by Adrian Lamb. David March.
They've got to test their arm up there, Wakefield.
Gareth Ellis.
They know that the seconds are ticking away. They've got to do something very, very quickly here.
And Jeffries might provide it. Dominic May. Scream for a forward pass. It never was.
Maybe the little chip over.
Well, a try in the corner and a misconversion. We're in extra time territory. Solomona.
Oh, there was openings there.
And Solomona still. Last tackle.
Now then, Tadulala into the corner. Will they? Are they going the opposite way?
Jeffries hoists the kick in the middle, and Radlinski's underneath it, the man of the match, and he'll just dive with the ball in hand. 3 minutes to go. They'll get another chance, Wakefield, providing they're disciplined.
They certainly will. But what a great take, Radlinski. He's been so solid. He turned the game last week. He's done it again today.
Brett Dallas.
He scored a magnificent try. How he got that ball down is beyond belief. When Wigan were absolutely stunned by the Wakefield start.
Just on the last, they're going to get another set of 6, Wakefield. Oh! They're going to get better than that. They're going to get a turnover.
Oh, he can't believe it.
28 metres from the Wigan line. Of all the people in all the world to do that, Andrew Farrell.
He had to walk into my joint. Unbelievable, Eddie. That's pressure.
2.5 minutes to go. Wakefield. Can they conjure something up here? Here is March. It's Jeffries. Jeffries finds Solomona. Second tackle. Still plenty of tackles remaining. Jeffries. Jeffries to Griffin. And Griffin delays. Gives it back to Jeffries. It goes wide. They've got the overlap wide. That was Spicer. Spicer's got Robinson round and gets the ball away. Demetriou. Infield it comes to Jeffries. Jeffries gives it instead to Stitch. 3 tackles gone, 3 remaining. This is unbelievable stuff. Chris Feather and Griffin just short of the line.
Andy Farrell and Radlinski, the 2 old stagers.
Here is Ellis. It comes wide to Mark Field. He'll go back the other way. Terrific Wigan defence. Last tackle for Wakefield. Last throw of the dice for the Wildcats. Jeffries out wide. It's palm back. Wigan have it, and Wigan will progress.
They'll take the time now. Runs from dummy. Oh, he's knocked on. Kevin Brown has knocked on. I cannot believe this.
I said it was Wigan.
It was all
march on.
It was all over, Eddie. All he had to do, free play the ball, kick downfield. What an error from the youngster Kevin Brown. Well, he got away with it last week. Remember, he dropped the ball when Sean Long looked as though he'd scored underneath the stick. It was denied for Sean Long.
Well,
his lady luck on the Wakefield side.
And the time's not been blown back on yet, where Shane McNally's on his way down. Now then, Jeffries to Gareth Ellis. Sid Gomez, the top try scorer for Wakefield. It goes wide. Scrambling defence. March. David March for Wakefield. Wigan hanging on to this match by their fingernails. Griffin, Darryl Griffin.
They've got to chance it now. They've got to keep it alive. The right side looks about the best option. They've gone left though.
With Jeffries, with Dominic. Good defence from Wigan. 14 seconds remaining. Solomona. Back it comes to Jeffries. Inside to Gareth Ellis. And Ellis flicks it back to Jeffries. And Jeffries keeps it alive to Demetrio. And Demetrio goes for the corner. And Wigan have got it now, surely.
It's all over. Brown has rectified it yet again. He made the error, but he's now knows that he's winning for Wigan. It's all over, Rover.
He's not heard the hooter, has Russell Smith. The din here is unbelievable. It's all over. It is all over. And Andrew Farrell looks daggers at the referee. That siren was blowing for 6, 7, 8, 9 seconds. What an effort from Wakefield. Dennis Betts, a relieved man. Wigan, a relieved club. Kevin Brown, a very relieved young player. The tension has been unbelievable here, and somehow Wigan have fought back from being 14-0 down after 18 minutes. They stopped Wakefield from scoring thereafter, and they came up with 18 points of their own, and Adrian Lamb, on his last game at the JJB Stadium, has come up with a try. Farrell kicked the goal, and Wigan will march on in the Tetley Super League playoffs. A fantastic effort from the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats, and here's their skipper Gareth Ellis with Bill.
Gareth, that was a phenomenal effort from the Wildcats, and so close there.
Yeah, it was a good effort. You know, we played hard and trained hard all year. Fortunately, we just couldn't go that one step tonight. I think we let ourselves down a little bit just before our time, which let Wigan back into the game after we got a good start. And well, all credit to Wigan, they came back, showed got character, which will put them in good stead, you know, for the upcoming games.
Could you believe that start? I mean, these guys were still coming in and you were 14-0 up.
But it's normally the other way around for us. I don't think we're used to it, but yeah, we got a good start, and you know, we just laid the platforms for the rest of the game. But unfortunately, you know, like I say, we let Wigan back into the game, and then, you know, they came back well.
But I mean, that probably sums up Wakefield's effort this season, to lead Wigan for something like 65 minutes of this game, and even there in the final seconds to be putting them under pressure on their line. That about sums up what has really taken Wakefield this far this season, doesn't it?
Yeah, we've got a great team spirit down here, good bunch of lads.